Hey, welcome to the Marriage 360 podcast, a full circle look at life, love, and marriage. My name is Marty Sloan. This is my lovely bride,
Becky.
And our topic today on the podcast is the topic of valuing our differences. In case you didn't know it, men and women are different.
Yes, very much so.
Did you know we're different?
Yes, I did from the very beginning.
You knew early on?
Early on, yes.
Well, and I do it too, but I thought that was all positive. Like, she's prettier than me, smells better than me, she's softer than me, she laughs better than me, she's funnier than me.
Yes.
And then you get married and you think, well, our differences are now problematic.
Right.
And I've done a lot of marriage coaching over the years, and differences almost always comes up in a counseling or coaching session.
Yeah.
I mean, all the time. And I had one couple, I'll never forget this. They were just back and forth about differences, and they kept using the word differences. And I said, when did you guys realize you were different? And they kind of paused, looked at me. I said, was it when you went on your honeymoon and took your clothes off? Is that the first time you realized you were different? And I said that to follow up with, you realize that differences bring us pleasure and bring us life and relationships.
Right.
Sameness gives a better sense of self. You're just like me. It makes it easy to connect with you because it's no work on my part.
Well, you can also say same can equal stagnant too.
Absolutely. Sameness makes it easy. Different helps me grow.
Right.
So in a marriage, what are the odds of opposites attracting? I mean, Paul Abdul sang the song. We just
Very
did it
much
ourselves.
so, because I think it intrigues a person. They see
Yeah.
somebody that they're attracted to, but also that person's very opposite than them. But I think there's an attraction to that.
Yep.
They can do some things that I can't. They're interested in things that I've never even thought about.
Yep.
They prefer this type of food and I like this. But there's something about that in our human nature, I think, that just says, well, I want to learn more about that. Or I don't want somebody that's just like me. I want something different. But like you said, those seem to attract us. And all of a sudden we get married and all of a sudden the differences are like, oh, well, that's it. We're done.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It's a problem. We can't be married. We're different.
It's funny because different is how all things work. I mean, example, a seed plants in the soil. The soil is different than the seed, but that's how the seed grows because of the soil around it. Soil or seeds need to have both dry and wet to grow.
Right.
They need to have both day and night to grow. It's funny because differences in creation actually make things flourish. It seems like in relationships, though, differences become problematic.
Yeah.
And a couple can face all kinds of differences. They can face them physically. There's couples who one's a night owl and the other one's to go to bed early. You're going to lean a little more toward the stay up late.
And I have done a good job over the
have.
last couple years of trying to get in bed about 9 o'clock to 9:30.
It's not 9 o'clock.
It is
It was
9.
10:30 last
Marty,
night.
At 8 o'clock, 8:30, you're saying, I've got to go lay down. I've just got to go lay down. I'm about to fall over.
The other night
Which
at
is a little
the other night at
dramatic,
8:30, I thought it was midnight. And I'm
But
like,
it
why are
was-
we still up?
But it wasn't. And I tend to be that person that likes the house quiet at night, make a cup of coffee. Yes, I can drink coffee before I go to bed. And just relax and let the day just go by.
Yeah.
But I have learned the importance to my spouse of going to bed most nights, at least 5 out of the 7, I'd say, going to bed at the same time they do because they want you there with them. And so, that sacrificial earlier bedtime, it's a win-win.
Well, differences are really what you make of them.
Yeah.
And I would say to any couple, learn to celebrate differences, flaunt and laugh at your own imperfections,
Oh, sure.
and find joy in the totality of the both of you.
Right.
We have things about us that we're not perfect in.
Sure.
You may as well laugh at those on your own account.
I feel like when people get to know us as a couple, the last few years that we've lived here in Chicagoland and made friends, I feel like some of our differences play out in things like, when they see us coming, it's, oh, here comes the hammer and here comes humor. Because I feel
Why
like
do they think you're the hammer?
they think you're the hammer.
Why am I the
The
hammer?
seriousness. It's like, oh, here comes the hammer. Here comes humor. Whew. And so our differences play off of each other, and it makes it better.
I'm not the hammer. You're the hammer.
Marty, you have a T-shirt that says hammer.
I know, it was the church men's conference.
Well, I'm saying still, you wear a shirt that says Hammer.
But you're more direct than I am. People just don't know that.
Well,
we're
I'm also
different.
funnier than you are, I think.
What?
I have more sense of humor than you. But again, some of your seriousness has rubbed off on me, some of my humor, and you're very funny. I mean, when we're out playing golf or hanging out together, you make me laugh quite often. But I would say in general, our differences would be, I think I heard our youngest son the other day introducing us to someone saying, Mom, tell them what you said the other day. It was so funny. I want them to see how funny you are. And, unlike maybe my other parent, but there's some things that you bring to the table as a parent that are far more important than just humor. So we have those differences.
They're differences.
It's okay.
And the benefit of differences, especially in parenting, is it gives a child a more holistic look at life.
Oh, yeah.
And I would tell parents in the journey of parenting to let differences be strengths, not
They're
weaknesses.
going to have a serious, strict teacher in school, or a coach, or in college, a boss. They're going to have, and they're going to engage with peers and adults in the workforce that are, funny or not as strict or not as serious. So if they see that in the home and learn to navigate those differences early, then that's a good thing.
Well, and God gifted parents differently too. Males are different, females are different. There's different sides of both end.
Yeah.
And when you celebrate that, again, you celebrate the differences. You value them. You flaunt the imperfections and laugh at yourself.
Right.
If you can laugh at yourself, you take a lot of pressure off the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
If you're all up in your self-perfection, but you're not perfect, which nobody is, the other person wants to laugh at you, but then they're like, well, if I do this, they'll flip out on me. Learn to go with the punches and go with the flow.
And that's something that as marriage goes, I just want to tell young couples, you are able to laugh a little bit more as you get older.
Yeah.
In those first 5-10 years, it's like, I just break their spirit if I laugh at them, but inside you're just cracking up. But you know better than to crack a smile. But as time goes on, you're like, we get comfortable with laughing at each other.
I have a hard time thinking you've ever held back from cracking a smile.
And laughing at you?
You've been pretty true.
I've been very restrained at times, I'd say.
Well, that's an interesting thing to learn, because I did not anticipate that.
Yeah.
When you can celebrate the differences in a relationship, you give life to it.
Sure.
Life comes from different, not from same.
Mm-hmm.
Growth comes from different, not from same.
Right.
When you have everything lined up like you want it, you're limiting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think about this little nuanced story. 30-something years ago, you introduced me to blue cheese salad dressing. I never had it my entire life.
Right.
I grew up as a Italian and even a French, if you can imagine that.
Oh, mercy.
It's horrible.
You introduced me to olives, pickles, mustard, and oil and vinegar. We were a ketchup mayo family.
Mayo's nasty.
No,
Mustard's
it's
where
not.
life begins.
Ugh. Well, I like it now, but then I was like, oh, okay.
So we've added some value. We've added value where we go vacationing. We've added value in our perspective on things in life. There were things that I was dogmatic on in my early years of marriage that completely flipped on, that you were critical in that conversation.
I loved heights. You hated heights. We went parasailing and you loved it.
I still don't like heights
well,
that well. I'm a large guy.
I know, but you had fun parasailing.
I like heights inside an airplane. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
I need that vessel around my largeness. So, we've had to navigate, and certainly both of us have probably had to give up on a few things that we thought we wanted in our life.
Right.
And that's part of life. Nobody ever ends up with all like they thought it was going to be.
Sure.
At the end of the day, God gave you a spouse that's different by divine design.
Right.
When you realize that God wired the person the way that they're wired, and life has shaped them and impacted them. Some of that life is before we even arrived together as a couple. Some of it has been post that marital or that dating marital relationship. So we've kind of formed our own uniquenesses and more similarities over time. We recently started playing golf. We didn't ever do that early married life or dating life. We did a couple times.
We played a couple times. At the last 3 years, we've really found joy in it.
Yeah.
And going out to the course and playing golf and being with each other. It's fun.
And
a little competitive too.
Yeah, and the funny part is on the golf course, we're very different. The one thing I struggle to do, you do with great fluidity and do it well, which is the driver.
Right.
This girl can hit a drive 230, even longer. I have a hard time getting off the tee because I'm just not. I turn like a U-Haul box truck. And so you're on the side going, turn your whole body. You're like coaching me the whole time.
But you're better with your irons and your chipping. I'm still learning. You're
so,
great.
differences can come together and can have unity and harmony and have fun.
Right.
Again, learn to laugh at yourself first.
And then your spouse.
And then let your spouse enjoy the humor with you. Then they're not laughing at you, they're laughing with you.
Right.
Because sometimes in life, things are just funny.
They just are.
And if you take the pressure off, it goes a lot better. So
Hammer,
humor.
humor.
I need to find out who said that. I need to meet them personally and have a
No,
conversation.
I made that up.
You made that up?
Yes. When I
I'm
think
the
of us as
hammer?
a couple walking towards other couples, I think they say, here comes the hammer and here comes humor. And the two of them just work well together.
Is that like salt and vinegar? Is it like
Salt and pepper.
or salt and pepper?
Yeah, oil and vinegar.
Oil and vinegar?
No,
Salt and
those
vinegar.
don't go together.
Salt and vinegar is good on potato chips.
Ugh.
Anyway, so this is going to conclude this conversation on differences. We've all got them.
Yes.
Never let
Might
a
as well embrace
difference
them.
become the divider in a marriage. Let it
No.
become the celebration point. Learn about your spouse. Get better at being you by learning who they are. Study your spouse. Be attentive. Pick up on nuances. Pick up on things they like, dislike. Have a listening ear to your spouse. You'll learn a lot just by them talking. So
Right.
find the differences.
And if differences are detrimental to the marriage, then that's a whole different
You got to resolve it.
context, and you have to resolve those.
Absolutely.
But by far, differences that we've been talking about today for these just few minutes are just preferences and just personality.
Nuances, self, agendas. We have to put the rest. So anyway, that is a wrap on this podcast, and I love doing life with you.
And I love doing life with you and being different than you.